In this lesson, we're going to study how to write equations of ellipses. So this is 9D, and again, put them into standard form so we can graph it. So notice all of the equations start in general form. Okay, so what we see right here is general form. And again, looking at our objectives listed above here, you want to reorganize the data. And again, we want to, put the like variables together. Move the other constants to the other side. So you have to look, this is different than like say parabolas where you put one on one side, one on the other. You have to make sure you understand what the final equation looks like. And then you want to complete the square for both variables and put it in standard form. The key here is it has to equal 1. So let's put a standard form mock equation. We're going to have something like x squared divided by, let's say, a squared or b squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1. So the key is we want this to be 1, and also we need the x squared plus y squared on top. So let's go ahead and get started with this first example. So the first thing I want to do is put together my x's. So we have 16x squared minus 32x, okay, plus, and then we're going to say 4y squared plus 16y. Okay, and I'll put 32 on the other side. So the only thing I'm doing is reorganizing. So the x's together, the y's together, and the numbers on the other side. Now, what I want to do is figure out my blank, and I want to factor out a 16 because I need x squared to be by itself. So I want to have 16 parentheses x squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay, or plus, let's just put the blank for first. And plus, take out a 4 out of the y squared. This becomes 4y because we're factoring out plus a blank, okay? And again, 32 over here. Now again, if I'm adding 2 blanks on the left, I need 2 blanks on the right. So now let's figure out what number goes in there. 16 still stays up front. Then we have x minus 1 quantity squared, so 1 goes there, plus 4 y plus 2 quantity squared. 4 goes there. Now again, what numbers go over here? Well, it's 16 times 1, so this becomes 16. And again, we have 4 times 4, which is 16 again, okay? So what we're going to have is, I'm going to add those up, and we're going to get 64 over on this side of the equation. And we have 16 x minus 1 squared plus 4 y plus 2 quantity squared equals 64. Now, the last thing we have to do is we have to get rid of these numbers in front. So I'm going to divide everything by 64. Whatever this number is on the right, we want this to go to 1. So I'm going to divide this by 64, and we're going to divide this by 64. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and show this. I'm going to write it over here. So 8 goes in, or 16 goes into 64 3 times. So we're going to have x minus 1 quantity squared on top. 16 and 64 reduces to 1 over 3 plus, okay, and again, 64 divided by 4 is going to be 16, okay? So what we're going to have is, actually I messed up here real quick. Let me backtrack just a hair there. Rewrite this, and we're going to put x minus 1 quantity squared, okay? And then this is going to be over 4. 16 divided by 64 is 4, so I apologize for that. So then we're going to do the y part, and we're looking at these numbers, 4 over 64, okay? So now we're going to put y plus 2 quantity squared all over 16, okay? And notice over here we have 64 divided by 64, so this is 1. So notice now we have it in standard form. We have an a value in the bottom and a b value. So this is a vertical ellipse because the bigger number is under the y. We have a 1 over here, which we want. That's your minor axis under the x, okay, or center of 1 comma negative 2, okay. Let's take a look at another example here, okay. So again, I'm going to group them together. So we're going to have 9, whoops, change our pen here. We're going to have 9x squared plus 25y squared minus 150y. Okay, now notice there's no number to move over, so I'm just going to leave it 0. Okay, so I've pretty much written the same thing, but I'm doing is looking at, do I have it organized? Now, again, I'm going to take a 9 out of here, so this is technically x minus 0 quantity squared. I'm just going to write it in that standard form, and then I'm going to take a 25 out of the second part, and now we have y squared minus 6y plus blank equals 0 plus blank plus blank. Okay, so now what numbers do we go here? Well, there's no square to complete over here, but we have to complete one over here. So we're going to have 9x minus 0 quantity squared plus 25y minus 3 squared. So a 9 goes here. So we're going to plug in 25 times 9. Oops, 25 times 9, which is going to be 225. So again, there's no thing to be completed for the x's, but 25 times 9 is 225. So now we have equals 225 over here. Now the last step, again, is to divide both sides by 225. Okay, and a lot of times it's going to work out cleanly because of the squares over here. So notice this goes to 1, and we're simply going to have x minus 0. Again, you don't have to show the 0, but I like to just so we see the part here. Okay, and again, 9 divided by 225 is 1 over 25. When I reduce it, I'm basically taking 9 out of both of them. And then we have on this side y minus 3 quantity squared all over 9, all equals 1. So this is our standard form. Notice this one, we have an a squared value of 25 under the x, so it's horizontal. We have a center of 0, comma 3, and there's your a squared and there's your b squared of 25 and 9 respectively. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at how else can we take a look at these problems. So what here we have a couple of information. So we want to sketch a picture and then write an equation. So this write equation of horizontal ellipse that has a major axis that is 8 units long, so that's 1 bit information, and a minor axis of 6 units long. The center is at 4, 7. So I'm going to go ahead and start with an axis. Okay, so there's my xy. And then we're going to go ahead and graph the center of 4 comma negative 7, which is going to be right about here, 4 comma negative 7. And it says we have a major axis that is 8 units long, okay, and it's horizontal, so the major is going to go left and right. Now if the whole thing's 8, and we're going to go 4 to each side. Okay, so I'm going to put some points on here. We know it's 4 to this side and 4 to this side. And then we're going to have a minor that is 6 units long. So it's going to be 3 and 3. And again, we're going to go ahead and draw in our ellipse. Oops, kind of lost my pen here. There we go. Comes back in, and there we go. So let's go ahead and write what the stand looks like. It's horizontal, so we know we're going to have x squared plus y squared all equals 1. And we need the a squared under here and the b squared under here. So let's go ahead and fill the parts in. The a is 4, so what we're going to go ahead and do is put 4 squared, which is 16. The minor, which is the y, is 3. 3 squared is 9. Okay, so there's your A and there's your B, major, minor. And then the last part is to put it in the center. So we have x minus 4 and then y plus 7. Okay, so again, this is pretty straightforward on how to write an equation. The key is to start with the skeleton, draw a picture so you can see the information, and then fill it in from there. I want you to go ahead and try this problem where you have to sketch a picture, and then go ahead and try this one as well, and the following one. Okay, and then we'll talk about these 3 in our next class.